Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Crying is a Free Action podcast. We are a local politics podcast for the state of North Dakota, North California, North Carolina,
North California.
Florida, and also doing a lot of world and
New
global news.
Caledonia?
New Caledonia.
Oh hell yeah, New Caledonia
Uh,
is where it's at, bro.
we are the team behind EasyVoteND.com. I'm Tommy, and I'm here with my friends. We got Al at top there.
Okay.
And we also got, I guess, how do you want me to call you?
You can say whatever you want. I don't give a shit.
Of course, our fearless leader, Justin up there. Yep.
I ate too many mixed nuts and got sick, so Tommy's driving today.
That's right. It's going to be another chaotic stream for those who were there for our bonus episode. And we also have with us our guest correspondents and expert of all military things. We got Mr. Taylor.
Oh, I wish you wouldn't tell them I'm an expert in anything. What's wrong?
Expert with a grain of salt.
Yep. So, we're here motivated to talk about the things that matter to us, matter to you. Because, the world is really sad sometimes. So sometimes the best thing you can do is cry.
Eat the dumpling.
Cry into your dumplings.
And cry and eat some dumplings. Speaking of eating dumplings, I want to have a little bit of a side tangent early on about this other company that Al was talking about called Churba Dumplings. They are
Let's for chat. Put it in chat.
They're a local dumpling place in North Carolina, and I don't want
a little dumpling food truck.
A little dumpling food truck.
We're not trying to give them free advertising.
Unfortunately, we're not. But I don't want
naming and shaming.
Naming and shaming. They have taken my family's restaurant logo and made it derpier, and it was driven by a person who I think is culturally appropriating my dumplings. But dumplings are for everybody, so I'm not. It's okay.
I prefer the term "stolen dumpling valor." I mean, like they did not serve the time in dumpling hell that you did, and they're wearing the uniform and rank of a higher dumpling establishment, which is just right out.
I spend hours of my life every week making dumplings for years, and they come along with their churba dumplings. I'm so mad. But not as mad as you should be when it comes to our first topic of the day. So in this case, we have some kind of mineral owning rights are being kind of sold off. This is an article from ProPublica and the North Dakota Monitor. They spoke with mineral owning North Dakotans and found that companies that owe royalties to the people are withholding between 20 to 50% of the royalties because of deductions that are well now regulated. Justin, what do you know a little bit more about this?
Yeah, so this is a really interesting one because a lot of the wealth in North Dakota comes from mineral rights, and it puts a lot of money back into the state. And what's happening is when they have these leases for the minerals, there are fees and things and such in there, but then they have what's called deductions, which are a non-regulated, non-negotiated thing that basically oil companies and mineral companies put in, nah, we can just take it because what else are you going to do about it, basically. And so a lot of money that could potentially be put not just into North Dakota's economy, but all of North America's economy, because it's a lot of money. They estimated it was about $4.6 billion in 2023 alone that could have been in the hands of private people back into the economy, essentially. And so the crazy thing about this is since 1979 in North Dakota, it's been illegal to have deductions for minerals that are owned by the state. And now the state doesn't own that many minerals. It's about 10%-ish overall of all the minerals in North Dakota. But clearly they saw in 1979, like, you're just taking money for the sake of taking money. And now we even have legislatures in North Dakota who have been trying to be like, well, if they're just going to take money for taking money, like, we can make them not do that. And unfortunately, he's not getting he is a Republican lawmaker. He's not getting a lot of traction with these votes, mostly because a lot of the lawmakers here in North Dakota are bought and paid for by these mineral companies. So
Yeah.
this is probably not going to get solved anytime soon, especially under the current administration.
Yeah.
But
This is a really curious one because like a lot of times with these kind of businesses, there's a of course we do have like the raw ingredients, but there's always the cost of goods sold and the cost of then transfer the minerals, and it doesn't seem like it sometimes it's just like a fixed cost, but it's a very
right,
variable cost in things, which is really curious to me because a lot of other like commission based things like this, it's usually just a set percentage of the cost sometimes, but I don't
you're
know.
right.
So and this is
Yeah, and this is all beyond that.
yeah, oh I see.
So
Well,
yeah, it's they're just trying to take advantage of well-meaning good folk in North Dakota. That's what I think.
yep, that's right. That's why we never trust big businesses.
Yeah, corporations are never your friend. The bigger they are, the farther the way they are.
Yep. Let's see. I guess in other news, we got here. Department of Homeland Security transfers FEMA staff to ICE amidst hurricane season. Okay. This is my first time just reacting to this headline. This is insane, right? So
Yeah,
in this case, we
yeah.
have more than 100 FEMA employees are getting transferred to ICE. And whether they have to accept or face determination, which is really rough. Um, and this is a very critical point right now because we're in the start of hurricane season over here. The people of North Carolina and Florida, and poor everybody in the South, really. We are ready for a more active hurricane season this year. So it looks like over here we go ahead.
One of the reasons I wanted to put this one on so early on is kind of to let people know, because I know we do get some viewers in North Dakota. Like I wasn't a big, I knew there was a hurricane season. I didn't know much about it. I started looking it up, and the first thing you kind of see is like, oh, it's happening, and oh, there were a lot more hurricanes happening. That date is very easy to, and not only are they making FEMA aid totally unavailable to people, the aid is more needed than it's ever been. And I bring this up because we've requested FEMA aid for those huge storms back in
Oh
July
yes.
in North Dakota, and we still haven't gotten approved or denied. And normally, under any administration, we would have heard something by now. And we know we're probably getting denied. That's I want to, because I've been following up on this, and I know we're not getting our money either. We're gonna, just like Texas didn't get theirs, red states are not getting any money. Like, this is what we voted for, people.
Yeah, I mean we have not received all of the FEMA money that was supposed to be given to us during or from Helene or whatnot. And then we had that the
And the
remnants of another
wildfires
storm.
too.
Yep. And then we had the remnants of another storm come by, Chantal, I think it was.
Yep.
And
It's kind of a hot
it
name for a storm.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a tropical depression. Not even it was the remnants of a tropical depression, and it caused a lot of flooding in my area. Like
Wow.
it wasn't even like it wasn't even like a like a category anything or tropical storm. It was just a depression.
Wow.
But
And I mean, that's all we get up here are just like really severe thunderstorms. Like, and then they form tornadoes, and tornadoes are incredibly destructive.
Yeah.
So,
And that's the thing, like what is really, what this administration cares for and what we care for are just sometimes two very different things. Like, you know, even if you believe
sometimes, I mean, all the time,
all the
they don't really
time,
give a shit about
you know,
anything we care about.
whether you believe climate change happens or not, but we need to know what is kind of going on with the weather because the weather, is very dangerous sometimes. So much so that the White House has chosen different plans. So one of the things they're choosing to do is they're ordering NASA to destroy this important satellite, which is helping to monitor like a lot of our big weather patterns and all these kind of things. So this is not just for hurricanes, but imagine like tornadoes. They've been dismantling.
Yeah, this is for monitoring the the some of the big weather systems like El Nino, La Nina, and all the other shit that goes on around the globe. So it's not just for monitoring like active weather events. It's just for monitoring climate in general.
Yep.
One of the things that it does do is that it monitors carbon pattern emissions, which is not the same as like, oh, my car emits too many fucking little particles. No, that's not the same. It's huge, big movements of it. But of course, they don't know the difference, so it all just gets put under that's the climate conspiracy.
Yep.
Turn it off.
Honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that she may she may face consequences from it, I would ask my wife to come on the show and talk about a lot of this stuff because she was part of maintaining 2 applications that monitor shit like that. You know, they monitor carbon emissions, they monitor the kind of shit that gets put into the groundwater, they monitor a bunch of different things that affects, you know, both communities and the environment in general, and a lot of this shit is getting defunded.
Yep.
Yeah, it's definitely a big problem. You know, they just had to like rehire a lot of people from the National Weather Service. You know, because they just had a lot of people go. I don't find. I think these are just the basic things that we expect from our governments, and that's important to keep ourselves running as like a country. Is knowing like literally the weather. It's very important. It's very boring, very important. So,
As I get older, I'm just like, oh man, I finally get it. Like, I got a business and like it means stuff. It always has, but like, holy crap, is it important?
Especially now. I think I would probably encourage a lot of people to go ahead and think about like getting an emergency kit together because the other thing about it is like as climate is changing, it's not just that storms are getting more intense. That's usually the top of mind headline, but it's also that the weather patterns are becoming more irregular and more unlike what they've used to be. Like Dexter right now is about to slam into the coast of South Carolina. You can probably count on one hand the amount of time that South Carolina has been in the, you know,
In the
direct
path
path
of
of
a
a
storm.
hurricane.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, because it sometimes does get the backhand of like, you know,
Yeah,
storms
but
that
it's
come up
it's
through
not
like Florida.
like it is now. Like a storm will
Exactly.
fucking form and just go straight at a state
At
on
a,
the Atlantic coast. Usually they come
exactly.
into Florida and they angle up and part of it hits it after it's been weakened. No, that's not what's happening
Right.
this time.
And then a lot of
The-
those places, like you had talked with, like flooding and stuff like that, like those places. I mean, because you can remember back to when I forget which storm it was, but it hit New York City like pretty much direct on. It was like
Sandy.
only a category.
oh yeah, Sandy. Yeah,
I think
hurricane.
so. Yeah, Sandy. That's what it does, and
When
it wrecked it because they have no
Yeah,
preparation.
they have
And then there's a
no
lot of places
infrastructure
that
for that.
don't
That's
have
right.
exactly. And then so there's a lot
that's
of
and
places
the
that are
other
just going to get hit. Mhm.
and we're just increasingly more and more on our own, by the way. Like that's the part of the
Yeah.
like defunding FEMA is like normally they get you like, oh, we'll get you clean drinking water, get you something to eat like
Yep.
real fast.
Mhm.
They don't do that anymore.
that's right.
Nope. Now
Mm-mm.
I recommend like buying, cases of water, like
Yep.
buying, gallons of water, having your own water supply, having food for a few days if need be, your flashlight, shit like that. It's not, it sounds like prepper shit, but at
This is
this
stuff
point
that
it's necessary.
It is.
like
It is.
USAID and FEMA and a bunch of other agencies have been recommending this stuff since like the 40s or 50s. You know, it's not crazy stuff.
I mean, I
Well, and
remember.
the other thing,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Okay, so
I was just gonna say
I
the other.
remember. I mean, sorry. I guess I remember back in like even 2005 when I was living in Key West and we were hit by Hurricane Wilma, and like we actually had a big struggle to try to get people and FEMA on the ground. So like
Yep.
I was very fortunate. In my family we had water and we had plenty of food and all that
Yep.
stuff, but some people struggled. You know, the roads were down. You couldn't
The
even get in.
and
Yeah, and you can't get in or out because it's in the Florida Keys. There's only one way in, one way out, and
one
if
way out.
that
Yeah,
shit
one road.
if that shit gets fucked up, there's no there's no help gonna come unless they send like a random fucking ship that's gonna have to be miles out or something.
You get a couple of helicopters in for the most vulnerable.
Yep.
Honestly, though, it's pretty like the Florida Keys are pretty reachable by boat. I wonder actually why we don't put a little bit more resource and effort into doing that because like
Because it's in
if they had
Florida.
yeah,
That's
but we have a lot of boats here. I mean, there's a lot of boats in Florida. Like I remember like even there was some like guys in Houston who had like bass boats that they drove over to parts of like southern coast of Louisiana to help out and then vice versa.
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
because like it's coastal waters. It's not that hard to get out there. I mean, the sea states are not going to be the most fun to go across, but you can drive from Miami to Key West, like proper in a boat, like in a bass boat. You could do that. Like it's doable. So I wonder why we don't. I mean, I guess it is more money and more expense, but that's if you wanted rapid response to those kinds of places, like a
You
little
could
coastal
easily
sort
set
of
up like a
thing.
volunteer corps too.
Yeah, and they
People
do.
People
That
do.
happens.
Okay,
I
that's
don't.
good.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to. Yeah, because that's the other thing is like having I grew up through Katrina and stuff like that, and then there's been hurricanes. I followed hurricanes pretty much my whole life. Not just I've lived in places that ended up having them pretty much because that's what I like. But it's not the hurricanes that I'm chasing. It's just they're always happen to be in the place that I live. But people do like have like these volunteer things like, oh yeah, or we don't go to Texas or hang out with them at all, but there are people in Texas who just got hit by a hurricane. We got hit by a hurricane like 3 years earlier and it wrecked everything.
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
we're going to put some like food and water and stuff in the boats and we're going to drive over there and give it to them and come back. Like
Yep.
that's a thing people do. So I mean I would be heartened by the amount of like I understand it sucks that the government is not doing its fair share and we're obviously paying into something we're getting nothing out of. But it's I think honestly the more effort we put into kind of looking out for our own community, the better off we'll be. And the other thing is we used to this wasn't like that crazy to think about in the not so distant past. Like the idea of running out of food and water was a constant problem throughout like the winter or something like that because we didn't have this just in time economy focus. We used to have a lot more food storage options. So it's like we expected there would just be seasons where you wouldn't have easily readily access to food straight from the ground. So you'd have to be able to store your meats, your vegetables and things like that. And we had like infrastructure for getting water out of wells. Way more people had, wells in their house instead of just lines from the county or whatever. And
Right.
I'm not saying we all need to go back to the Stone Ages, but I'm saying like we have very much like sequestered away or however you want to call it our ability to like we had a lot of food storage technology. By that I just mean like we kept things in jars and we had like a process for this. And we could still go back to some of that. If you go to your like average apartment now, let's just say in the city, like you will not have a room. You'll have a pantry, but you probably don't have a room that's for shitloads of cans and other dry storage things that you can for store food in. But if you go back like 100 years or so and you go to like a farmhouse, like there's a whole ass room or building which is just filled with cans and jars and things which were for like it's going to be a hard winter. You can't pull any food out of the ground. You're going to have to hunt for every like
All right.
slab of meat that you
Final
get.
thoughts, Taylor.
So
Final
here you go.
thoughts.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. As you know,
Anyway.
get prepared, stay safe. I think that's we cannot
There's
trust
lots
the
of
government
resources
anymore.
for that is what I'm getting off of here. Yeah.
All right.
And guess what? If you're in North Dakota, that still happens here. You probably saw your grandparents' house still have that. So,
yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
Yep. Moving on to another topic. Speaking about just giant dumps, we got Tennessee-based construction firm addresses viral confrontation at North Carolina landfill. So, I guess before you read the article, should we first watch the video and react because that's kind of fun.
yeah, I think the video is
the
pretty
video's
telling.
a lot more telling than the article.
All right, here we go. So, yep, I got the video queued up here. So it should play in 3, 2, let's go.
Roll up window down.
The video also shows one of the workers shutting the door of the truck on the driver's puppy. News 13 can't confirm all the truck driver says in his post, but the landfill says the statement and clips present a partial and misleading account.
I can do a summary.
The company says the...
Oh, should I play from the beginning maybe? Probably.
If you want, there's a lot of new stuff in there, but I don't like it's a good article.
Mill. It's the company that took over the shuttered Canton paper mill. It's been in the news recently for the many trucks accessing the site on the narrow incinerator road to dump Helene mulch, sometimes causing backups and tip-overs.
Leave me alone! Leave me alone! Leave me alone!
This week, a video posted on TikTok shows one trucker videotaping what he describes as an aggressive encounter in late June with landfill workers, following a dispute over one of the workers' phones. It's not entirely clear what preceded his taping, nor what followed when his video ended. The trucker commented on TikTok, While I was dumping my load, he claims that he found his phone outside of the truck on the ground, so he decides to come back up to the top of the landfill with him and his friends and guns and start to run after my truck and attack me opening my door. In the mix of me trying to pull off, they run and go get two bulldozers and flip my trailer and tip my truck over.
Shut your door, shut your mouth. You're the sheriff? You're the sheriff, right? Yes.
The trucker says one of the workers identified himself as a sheriff, although it's not Haywood County Sheriff Bill Wilkie. The man does work with the sheriff's office.
No, roll the window up, roll the other window down. Hey, sir, you slammed the door.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So this is a Tennessee-based company, but this happened in North Carolina, in Haywood County. And I saw this one. I was like, this is just straight up fucked up racism.
Oh, interesting.
And so there's not a lot of information out there, probably because these white guys act in real poor faith. So I think one thing I've been thinking about doing is, because this guy is supposedly some sort of part-time employee for the sheriff's department. I've seen some of the other videos, like the unedited ones, and they're like, we're gonna go get the sheriff, and they go get this guy, and he's just a dude wearing a hard hat, and it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And this guy's just trying to leave, and he's like, okay, leave me alone. He is just trying to do his job and leave, as far as I can tell. And then he's got his little dog in the truck, and it's a little puppy, and this guy is just like being super aggressive, and he closes the door on this guy's little it's like a little lab. I did find an update. The only thing he's posted to social media since, he's like, the dog is okay. He posted a picture of it, still coming to work with me every day. And so what I kind of want to do is I think I'm going to send a FOIA request to Haywood County for these police records, for the police reports. And I'm going to straight up ask for, like, this guy clearly acted out of line. And he is one of your employees. How has he been dealt?
Yep. Looks like we also have an incident report, I guess, some data here, it looks like. So
yep. That just looks like your regular old like CR. So
all right. Well, all right. Well, let's hope we get that, taken care of, because that just ain't right.
Yeah.
You know what else ain't right? Drinking raw milk. Y'all, stop drinking raw milk. Okay? You're making Louis Pasteur sad. Okay? Raw milk sickens 21 people in Florida, including 6 children. Okay, guys, this thing has like bacterias and other kind of things.
Look,
it has just straight up shit in it.
Let me interrupt you.
Oh.
If you're watching this stream, 99% of I think I'm 99% sure that if you're watching the stream, you're not fucking drinking raw milk.
Yep.
But Al, it's so sweet when it's straight from the teat. What are you talking about?
Okay, you go ahead and do that, bro.
You haven't had the cream top milk where there's a nice big thick buttery top of the cream. When you put the milk down, it kind of settles, and there's a nice little thing. My mother drank this milk when she lived back in the Netherlands. This is the milk she wishes to have, is this delicious raw milk again, I guess. But it's gonna kill her because she's an old lady now.
It's literally full of cow shit. Like, why would you drink that?
Oh, yep. Here we go. We got E. coli. Yep, we got simultaneous Campylobacter, E. coli, probably salmonella. All these kind of awful things. Just y'all.
I had salmonella poisoning once. It is the fucking worst.
Look, I know my personal most hated person in the government right now is a man named Robert F. Kennedy Jr. This man is a maniac. Don't listen to him, please. You just look at his face. Yeah. You should know. Never trust a man who looks like this.
Just listen to him fucking talk.
Yep. Yeah, please. This is going to kill you.
The man had a literal brain worm.
Yeah.
And the brain worm died.
We solved this problem.
Didn't have enough sustenance to live on.
This is the problem we solved hundreds of years ago. Why do we got to keep bringing back diseases from the past? Okay. Yeah. So yeah.
Look, we're making America great again. All right, that's what that entails. All right.
Yep.
That's part. When America was great, everybody was dying of random bullshit diseases that are now gone.
and preventable and almost forgotten.
Yep, I mean that's kind of the point of the government, is to try to help the people, be better in doing things that they can't do on their own. Just such as spending $21.7 billion paying people to do absolutely nothing. So in this case, these are all the cuts from Doge. So we kind of let go, like we said we had to let go 300,000 workers, but they really can't just fire them. So they just have nothing to do. So just sat around,
And a lot of that is like severance pay to buyout pay kind of thing of just like, here, we have to give you this money, so take it and get out.
Yep. So in this case, $21.7 billion. How much money did Doge save? Apparently, much less than that, right? This is 21. Yeah. So there's 2.5 times what it managed to cut, which had just people just sitting there doing absolutely nothing. They're getting paid to do it. Yeah. So
so Doge only found about like $6 billion in what it describes as waste, fraud, and abuse.
And if you'll talk to your favorite Kentucky senator, you'll find that he's fairly certain that they've just refunded all of those anyway, even though they found that they are waste, fraud, and abuse.
Oh, sweet.
So they actually saved. They actually just found a bunch of waste, fraud, and abuse, and then refunded it anyway because they all voted on the omnibus bill. Because there you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you ever want to hear more about that, you can listen to and I forget his name because that's how good I am.
That's how live television works.
Yeah.
Yep.
Senator from Kentucky. He's the one who votes no on everything. You can look it up. You'll find it pretty quickly. And I can't believe I don't forget that fucking name. Anyway.
Yep. Okay. Okay.
Mitch McConnell.
Yep.
No. Unfortunately not.
We'll get back to that.
It's not the turtle.
Okay, so then next up, speaking of, I guess we're on our incompetent government things. Even though that's like most of our podcasts, to be honest.
Yeah.
Next up is from the Associated Press. So Pete Hegseth reposts video on social media saying that featuring pastors saying women shouldn't be allowed to vote. Okay, this is another topic that I remember seeing where we had a lady who was running for like a government position. She's like a daughter of like, I think like the governor or something. And she's like, I don't know if women should be in power to make these kind of hard decisions. I don't remember that topic, what that was about, but that's,
Yes.
but she's running to be in that position.
And now she's running.
Yeah. So, so in this one here,
Great.
okay. Nope. My only notes here, it says that Pete Hegseth is a white nationalist. Those are the only notes I wrote down on this one.
Oh my God! No, he's Secretary of Defense.
Secretary of Defense. Yep.
He's got an Iron Cross tattoo. Fucking, he has. You can. All of his old podcasts feature pastors like this, and like they straight up want black people back in the fields. They want women pregnant barefoot in the kitchen.
And
Yep. And like they can believe that all they want, but that's not how we're gonna run our government. It's I don't care what he believes, but that's not how we're supposed to run this place of equality. I don't feel like there should be religion in our government. It should be separate. These are just rules and regulations. So
right.
Anyways, so yeah, he's as we always say, this guy is a drunk piece of shit who keeps sharing things on Signal. I don't think he's done it so far, so we should probably give him, like a little badge, like 2 months since not sharing.
Yeah, 2 months. Too bad he can't earn that AA chip.
Days since information leaked on Signal.
Days since he hasn't done it so far, so I'm kind of proud of the guy, just a little bit. But who I'm not proud of is former Superman actor Dean Cain. It's kind of rough being Superman because, I guess don't get paid that much. So he's decided to become an ICE agent. Probably has a lot of student loans to pay off, all his debt,
He went to Princeton.
For all his acting.
Well, he must not have been very good. So this is the 59-year-old washed up actor, Dean Cain, has decided to join ICE. Let's see
Which Superman was he?
Not the good one.
He was in the Adventures of New Superman or Adventures of Lois and Clark, depending on like how they marketed it in your area.
I don't think I ever watched that. It must not have been good.
It was for moms. It was 100% for moms. Oh yeah, Thomas Massey. You're right. Good call. Good call.
Yep. Thank you.
Also, Dean Cain, real name Dean George Tanaka,
Oh,
is of Japanese heritage,
I'm disowning him.
and has not fucking ever picked up a U.S. history book apparently. So
Yeah,
if
whatever.
you don't
fuck
know, during World War II, the U.S. put Japanese people in internment camps and basically just treated them horrifically. So cool. You're doing that to other brown people now.
You know, this says something. You know, this is a man who's an actor for like many years, so has decided to do these things. This man has not made any good choices, especially playing Superman.
Look, man, it's tough out there being an actor. You know, Ice Cube had to do that shitty fucking War of the Worlds movie on Prime Video.
That's right.
You know, it's a hard time out there to be an actor.
See, that's the thing though, is like I don't want to like Dean Cain doesn't suck as an actor. That's the thing.
I can't recall that I've ever seen him in anything that was, memory worthy. So
I've seen him in stuff where it's like it's a serious movie and he's kind of a small part, but he nails it, and I'm just like, well, he doesn't suck. So, but like, I don't know. I guess when you're a piece of shit and you believe in this kind of stuff, nobody wants to hire you. Who would have thought?
So I'm reading this
He's
article.
he's doing like Christmas movies with Tara Reid on the Hallmark Channel for the most part.
I would take that job in a fucking heartbeat.
Okay, so this man plays a freaking alien immigrant for many years, has not learned the lessons about discrimination of immigrants, aliens. That's fine. It's okay.
Yep.
It's all made up. Okay, well, all right, Dean Cain, you can.
You suck. Oh, absolute Chad, John Leguizamo, was like, "You're a piece of shit. Your pronouns are has
what did you say? What did you say?
John
what?
Leguizamo. That's
John
Leguizamo.
lick my balls. Though.
That's the
no,
name.
okay. Yeah, so, well, hold on. Leguizamo does actually have like a history of like talking about.
No, it's Leguizamo. Say it right. Leguizamo.
Okay, fine. Ligmanuzzo. I don't care. But the point is, he's got a good history. The man has a history of calling people out on this shit. So
he does.
Yeah.
He's goated.
You know what I'm
saying.
Where
Anyway.
we shouldn't lick my nuts though is over at Trump Burger. You know, because right now it's getting closed. So this is a real funny one to me. So in this case, we have the owner, immigrant owner of Trump Burger, might be getting the green card revoked. So in this case, we got Roland Biani. He grew up in Lebanon, and he owns his restaurant called Trump Burger. You know, and it's probably a good name to me. There it is. Look at that. But unfortunately, I think he was getting like a divorce from like his wife or something like that. So he's getting some things getting kind of revoked. This is pretty bad.
What the hell is Kema? Kema?
Kema?
Is that the place it's in?
That's what I don't know, bro.
So.
That's what I was looking at. That's why I just did like a weird side turn on my head because
I looked at this article for a while and I didn't notice that.
Yep.
There's a lot to take in here.
It's a lot. Yep. So there's an establishment there. Yep. So this guy's already been detained by ICE, and it's kind of sad to see, a little bit ironic, but also people going to the immigration office and then they're trying to do things the proper way to get their citizenship and all that, and ICE is there to just pick them right up and send them off to wherever. So unfortunately, sorry, Mr. Trump Burger. Yep.
There are several other important notes here. Is one, he has been sent several cease and desists by the Trump organization. Stop. Because they are not affiliated. But again, when you like foster a culture like this, what do you think's gonna fucking happen? And then so this guy's also been paroled from detention.
Ooh.
But it sounds like he's going to be losing his like status and will be deported.
Yep, as a personal story, this particular one here. You need to have evidence during your marriage that if you're getting a green card marriage, you need to have your name on things. You can't just have your wife or husband, American wife or husband, do things. Because if they want to kick you out, they will. And this is the thing,
Yep.
no lease documents, no evidence that they actually live together. This sharing the personal note, this actually happened to like my cousin, Gio. Sorry, mom. But he was living in Vietnam, and he opened like a little boba shop and stuff. He's living in the little boba shop. They have different kind of labor laws and regulations over there. But then his girlfriend and broke up, but everything in the business was in his girlfriend's name. So he basically had to be forced to leave once she decided it was over. And this could happen to you too, to my fellow green card guys.
Trump burgers.
Make sure get
I
everything
was
on
gonna
paper.
say, it sounds like this is gonna work out for her well. It sounds like she's like, nope, fuck all this. You're a piece of shit.
Yep. Okay, let's see. Next up here we got okay, so let's see. We got Trump aides plead with Joe Rogan to end the Epstein crisis. All right. It's our favorite boy, our favorite podcaster, Joe Rogan. We with you, buddy. We support you on everything you do and say.
God.
So in this case, they had a let's take a look here. So they're talking to, Joe Rogan. We all know who Joe Rogan is. To try to, I guess, try to help move the narrative on this whole Epstein thing. Personally speaking, I don't see anything really going to change with this Epstein thing. It's not going to be the end of Trump, but
Nope.
it's just going to bury it. So the Trump administration had a dinner for protecting pedophiles recently, and they denied it happened, but it happened. Amongst things they're considering include releasing depositions of Ghislaine Maxwell. They had to stop. It's a lot of nonsense. You guys all heard this already, but we're gonna have Joe Rogan help out because he is controlling the MAGA masses.
Yep. They moved Ghislaine Maxwell to a minimum security club fed instead of a prison where she belongs, but she was such a good girl and didn't mention Trump at all during what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's what I had heard. Yeah.
So this is definitely gonna be the hottest news. You can follow all of this and every single moment. If you want more Ghislaine Maxwell news, you can go watch the Midas Touch. That's all they have on there.
Pretty much.
But not us. Let's see what we got going on next. Oh, yeah. Okay. Here we go.
So this is just kind of a follow-up to that one, is that there was a poll done that found that 47% of Republicans would still vote for Trump even if he was implicated in Epstein's crimes. And like, that's alarming.
Yeah, it's like it's true. And we did like a little bit of math on this one here. I had to look up the distribution of voters. So these are specifically people who identify themselves as Republican voters and not just independents leaning Republican, I think.
Right.
So let me see if I can find a picture for it. But okay, let's see. Yep, so among that you have 23%. There's some really interesting statistics. I don't think the Trump said, could the Jeffrey Epstein thing bring down the support? I think it is doing a little bit to the conspiracy.
It's definitely doing damage.
Yeah.
Not enough that it's gonna matter.
You can read the full report.
I don't think it's going to matter with his base. I think the
Nope.
general consensus, as Tommy had said earlier, is that this matters a lot for independents who leaned Republican in the past, and now they're, if they weren't already out the door, which a lot of people were on a lot of other issues, this is the final nail in that coffin. So I mean,
Yeah. And I didn't include the story, but I did want to talk about, there was a guy, this was in California, I believe, where he was detained by ICE. He's a U.S. citizen. They were out running errands and they were driving around looking for a place to go camping. Got stopped by ICE for being brown, detained, harassed, and news. And they voted for Trump. And they were like, we've never been harassed by, you see Border Patrol out here all the time, and we've never been harassed by them before. And like, we only got stopped because we were brown. And like, they did not have reasonable suspicion to stop that car. Like, the people did a good job and recorded the whole thing and went to the news. And like, they were just like, well, there's a dangerous migrant that's known to cross around this area. And it's like, no, okay, that's just Gestapo shit now.
Mm.
So, and the news straight up asked him, like, do you regret your Trump, and he was like, yes. And I just think that's going to be the case more and more.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be, I
Yeah.
don't want to be like, we told you so, but like also, we told you so.
You
We
know,
told you so.
yeah. So the most important thing, I think is we need to be concerned about what does it mean for all of America, not just a little bit of part of America, because
Yep.
Uh, all right. So we're gonna get off of being in America for a bit and to focus on a topic that I guess has not been. I mean, I guess depending on what news you are, let's talk a little bit about the Israel Gaza thing. Okay, so this is from a couple days ago. So it looks like so Israel is building up forces for possible ground invasion of Gaza. So we've been having these issues. We've been seeing articles and news reports of the people in Gaza are starving. Humanitarian aid is not going through because the Israeli military has been preventing it. So they're just having a little bit of war things. And we also brought in, of course, our buddy Taylor. Taylor, what have you been following up on the Israel conflict?
So we are at a very specific I won't say turning point. I would never use that in turning point is for historians later after everything has already happened. But what I would tell you is this is a specific moment just because of a confluence of a lot of things. So first of all, the Knesset voted, I think it was Friday, may have been Thursday, on an occupation of Gaza City. So for understanding, the Gaza Strip is the general area, but when you say Gaza, usually what they mean is the Gaza Strip itself, which Israel already occupies about 75 to 86% of it, depending on who you talk to. But what you're looking at basically is you had a lot of people who lived inside of Gaza as the war continues. Israel flattens buildings, invades spaces. And so what you're doing is you're essentially taking all these people who are in all these areas and herding them into smaller areas. And so what you're looking at now is Gaza City, and then there's another space on the coastline because Gaza City's on the coast, and there's another little patch on the coastline where everybody who lived in Gaza has been essentially herded into. Right now, there obviously you're starting to see a lot more information about like starvation and stuff like that that's going on, but it's the same thing with Hamas and also um, the hostages are in that area as well. So it's not just the population that they've herded into this area. It's now the Hamas, which was spread all across Gaza, has been herded into that same little area as well. And so what you're looking at is a situation where if they want to go into this heavily urban area, anyone who has ever studied anything about uh, conflict will tell you that urban warfare is pretty much the most brutal and gruesome that there is. It's where you take the most casualties. We learned that in any number of wars in the past. Go look at anything in Israel or Iraq. But so the idea of it is this comes at the same time as you're starting to see we're sort of at the end of the, like, I would say in a morbid sense, the what you would, I guess, call starvation timeline, which is that we've gone it starvation doesn't happen in a couple of weeks. It actually takes, probably closer to like 2 months to fully set in and kill someone. If you were eating healthily, then you start getting scraps. Then as the scraps run out, you get to a point where it's not because you're taking in nutrition from any little bitty thing you can find. But as starvation goes on, you get to where you can't get nutrition from that, and then and I'm not a medical expert, this is just what I understand of it, but the timeline that was laid out by a bunch of different health organizations was about 2 months before you're starting to see, I think what they called it, like stage 5, where you're seeing like irreparable damage to the human body, and that's just like the step before you are dead.
Jesus.
So at the same time you are seeing this, they have opted to now go into the city that has all of these starving people in it, and not only that, but probably also take very heavy casualties, which means the problem within the Knesset is that, which is their little, government structure, is that they are telling the military organization. This is one of the first times really that the military organization is pushing back very hard against the government and saying, we can't really do that. We are going to kill the hostages because the Hamas has already said if you get too close to us, we're going to kill these hostages. So they're saying we're snuffing out any last hope that we would have of rescuing the hostages. We're going to take heavy casualties now that we're running right up in Hamas's nose. And also, like, the humanitarian situation is going to be a little bit more in people's faces after this, because not only are a lot of Israeli people who don't want part of this, you're seeing a lot of IDF forces who don't want part of this, Like they don't actually want to take part in this. And then you're also seeing like there's a pretty heavy division in Israel over this, and it's just been kind of growing as the time has gone on. Like I think when October 7th originally happens in 2023, everybody's on board to go fight Hamas, and then the longer the conflict carries on and the more, you know, not so great war crimey things happen, the, you know, obviously the rest of the world's outraged pretty much immediately, but it takes time for Israeli people to be on board with it and get the full, you know, make their minds up about it. And so the longer we go on, the longer or the more you're going to see dissent within Israel. But you're also seeing at this particular moment in time a lot of people here like kind of doing what I would say is like the cover your ass type situation where they're saying, yeah, actually, there is a little bit of because we'd had staunch deniers saying that there was no genocide in Gaza for a very, very long time. And then if you even suggested that there was perhaps a genocide going on in Gaza, the first thing you get hit with is you're an anti-Semite or something like that. But you're seeing a lot of people like Barry Weiss's and other reporters like that, but also your senators and congressmen like Marjorie Taylor Greene kind of start to ease up and flip flop on this just because it seems like a lot of
They might have a soul.
well, perhaps, but I think the cynical
I think
take would
it's
be that
less of they have a soul and more they care about their reputation.
Yeah.
Sure.
yeah, because it's very much getting to the point now where you cannot hide the fact that you're getting closer and closer to being absolutely unable to hide the fact that there is a no shit starvation genocide going on in that country. And also, like, you're getting closer to the point where people are going to see all of the bombed out buildings and cities. And if they invade, it could be, you know, that times, you know, a bunch more because you're going into this more heavily populated area that is more, it's even now it's more bombed out. But if it gets completely flattened, you're going to see more houses on top of children and things like that. So, what this basically all comes back to and means is that now is a really good time, but I would say especially whenever Israel starts its invasion, to really put pressure on elected officials. I know that calling your congressman doesn't feel like it does much, but you know, I would say, in the cynical sense, they're trying to weigh out their options between APAC money and a hate campaign on the internet about you voted for a genocide and supporting a genocide, and that's why we can't have you to be our representative. So they're going to weigh out like how much APAC money am I going to get, and APAC advertising can I get, and how many campaigns can I run, versus all of this online backlash that I'm getting because everybody knows that this is what's going on now. So I would just say that like we're going to probably be looking at I wouldn't say that things are going to get particularly darker than they already are, but I think the dark things that are going on in Gaza are going to come to light more. It probably within the next like depending on when the invasion kicks off, or if they how far into and how quickly they go into Gaza City. It's going to be a lot of things are going to come to light and just not. It's going to be even harder to hide because um, you've had a problem up till now that we can't really get any like eyes on the ground because they won't allow pretty much any reporting to go on in Gaza from people who aren't already there. So the next step is with the United States trying to offer some aid and trying to get some aid in there. There's also going to be more moments where you see people on the ground who are Americans who are taking pictures. You also have, I wanted to point this out and just highlight this for people. I think his name's Tony Aguilar, and he's this former Green Beret who was working for the, he was working for like, there's a bunch of like humanitarian finger quotes operations that are not,
He's
they're sort of,
basically a contractor.
yeah, he's a contractor, but it's for an organization that is sort of contracted by the IDF, but is not necessarily the IDF. And he has a really good explanation for it, where he basically gets sent in there on a like personal travel visa, and because that's what they asked him to do as a like civilian like visitor of the country, and then they asked him to do all this military work and try to make it seem like he is a United States, like they're trying, the IDF are kind of trying to make it seem to either the Gazans or Hamas like they are actually US military, even though they're not. But he explains basically like what he saw on the inside, how they're trying to run roughshod over everybody. If you go look up Tony Aguilar, he's been on the Tucker Carlson podcast and a couple of other online shows that are pretty good. And he's given a pretty good rundown of what's going on out there. And I think you're just going to see more and more and more people like that, because you're also seeing people from the IDF, like soldiers and reservists and stuff like that, who are serving there, who are talking about what they're seeing on the ground. So I think you're going to see more of that. More of that's going to come to light. You can't have, CNN and Fox News trying to hoover that away, because it's just not going to go away. Yeah, that's a really good one right there. That link right there. So I think with the more of that comes out, and the more that people can, like, we're in a place right now, I do believe, where like support for Israel, I think, amongst the United States has gone down. If nothing else, I think the majority of people are saying, hey, even the ones who did vote for Trump, we voted for you because you said you were going to end wars, and this is
He was the
not
president of peace, guys.
That's right.
Yeah, but on top of that, like,
if you listen to him, he's ended 6 wars.
Yeah,
totally. But the point is, we're still funding, and like, you're not going to get anything out of your president, I don't think, at this point. But you can still talk to your congressman, and you still can run stuff against your congressman, because while the president probably seems and feels untouchable, your elected local officials are not. They are their seats are very much up for grabs. Their elections are not that far away, and you can run some, hey, you voted for genocide, and that's why you can't be our fucking congressman/senator.
That's right.
Julie Fedorchak is up for re-election in North Dakota in the next cycle, and she loves to vote for genocide. You guys, she loves it.
Yeah.
So we should probably not elect her again.
On the topic of funding, a big deal is that Germany, who has historically been one of the biggest supporters of Israel, obviously because of historical reasons,
Why? What happened?
has
Go on.
They said that they're not going to continue funding and supplying weapons if Israel goes through with this planned invasion, and that's a huge deal, because the Germans have since what happened in World War II, they've been basically one of the biggest supporters next to the U.S.
Yeah,
and they are also dropping aid. And I should also mention that I think the France and maybe as well the UK have already formally recognized now Gaza they've formally recognized it as a nation. So I mean, I would just say that this is a moment that there is a lot of things in confluence that are all kind of coming together, where you probably, because I think probably if 2 months ago, we were kind of in a situation where everything just seemed kind of deadlocked, and like it was just perpetually getting worse, but there's really nothing you can do about it. I think now, with more and more people on the ground, like IDF soldiers, like this guy Tony Aguilar, Green Bray, who's working out there, like some of the people who are going into Gaza and getting like looks at what's going on, mixed with the fact that we're just kind of on the very dark end of it, and a lot of people who were very staunchly I think the bulwark before was, if you say anything about what Israel is doing and try to claim that they're doing something illegal or war crimes or something like that, then you are an anti-Semite, and that's all there is to it. But that defense is crumbling
real fast.
Yeah, that defense is now crumbling, and it's crumbling even in finger quotes polite society of well-funded media corporations, and you're seeing senators and congressmen go back on that. So all I'm saying is we're at a place now, as horrible as it is, where we can actually generate some momentum. I believe that, again, probably not going to do anything with your boy Donnie, but can affect local elections, can move some congressmen out. And look, I mean, that's, at the end of the day, that is how we get money and aid to Israel. Like, the president says whatever he says, but it is Congress and the Senate who vote on these aid packages, right? So you can actually stop that from happening just by changing out the senators and congressmen in your districts. So that's really my big push on that. I just wanted to let you guys know. I follow a show called Breaking Points, which does a really good job, I think, on a lot of reporting on there. They had Tony Aguilar on as well. But there's lots of places. I don't know how to feel about Tucker Carlson. He's sort of in between. I don't know if he wants to hear out the whole argument, but he does have some pretty good people on. But yeah, so I mean, just anywhere you could follow. I think there's lots of places you can follow and find a lot of good information out there. I would say there's probably a lot of podcasters that I wouldn't normally watch, but they have some pretty good people on who they at least allow to lay out the argument, and I get a lot of good information that way. Even if I don't necessarily care for the podcaster who is like hosting them.
And it's always good to do opposition research anyways.
Yeah, so there's just plenty of good resources out there, I would say, for people. That's one of the good things about the place we're living in now, is that the big media publishing corporations do not control the flow of information anymore. And the more that you use it, the more that you go watch something that has Tony Aguilar, or even if Thomas Massey, like I was talking about earlier, he's another congressman who basically votes no on all wars and is really like against over government spending. Anytime you watch those guys that you like want to see their message put out more, you are actually helping the algorithm to promote them. So I mean, even if just the act of watching them does actually get more traction on that front. So
Yep.
Sure.
And that's why, we always promote Ground News, which is they're not sponsored, nothing. This is just one of our favorite news
Hell
aggregate
yeah.
sites. They help provide
good.
different perspectives. Sometimes you can see some things are more important or being pushed because, the media landscape is biased, and it will show you things that they want you to see. So in this case here, so we look at I always recommend, trying to read different articles and of the same topic, because we have this left, right, and center, to see that different words mean different things and what they kind of imply. So it's kind of important to have a more broad perspective, so you're more educated on these things. Any final thoughts on the Gaza conflict, guys?
I don't have anything else, but I'm interested to see what you guys think. What you guys got?
I recently saw how ABC Australia was able to get reporters in there, and they were talking about Gazan settlers. And if you're not what aware this is it's basically like they push all these Gazan people out of their home outside of Gaza City, and then they put Israeli people there, and it's like, yep, this is your new home. Go in there, do what you got to do. And then they were talking about how there's the security, and they had this just fucking unhinged guy with a rifle out there pulling security. And I'm like, well, this is terrible. This whole thing is gross and horrific. So
Yeah, that's
it's a
another thing
genocide, like
that
straight up.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
not sitting here trying to say it's anything else than a genocide. So
That also is going on in the West Bank. That's another thing that doesn't show up in the news as much, just because it's not Gaza. But this has been something that's been going on for a very long time, which is that the West Bank, which is like basically to the west of Israel for a little bit, there's settlers there who that's not Israeli territory, but they are trying to push their way in the same way. They'll go in and they'll arm the civilians with weapons and just be like, if somebody who's not Israeli tries to come on your land, shoot them, even though that's their land.
Yep.
So
Yep. So, as we talk about biased news, here we go. So here in the red,
Mhm.
only these articles are being shown in red news sources here, right-leaning sources. Israel has no choice, says Netanyahu. We're not trying to take Gaza, but we're not take, but not to free it. So, these are the different things you got to pay attention to when you see different news sources. So, big differences.
they have to finish it. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Let me see. I do have two topics. We were kind of we only got a few minutes left, I guess. We need to go towards.
Go long. It's fine.
Okay, cool.
I got some time.
Okay, speaking of trying to contact your senator and House rep, I'm going to take a little bit of time for myself and talk about my district senator. My district state rep, Mr. Corey Mills. This is the most useless guy in my damn area. He literally represents where I live. So in this case here, Corey Mills, he's, in this case, this guy has a lot of issues. This man won't pay his, let me take a few minutes. He won't pay his penthouse rent at his DC property. He owes them $80,000.
Oh my god,
he's that guy.
He's that guy.
Dude you've heard.
Can you
about.
believe him? He doesn't pay his rent. He doesn't pay his rent. That pisses me off. He's also accused of, in this case, doing some kind of revenge porn thing going on right now. This guy is just
really gross.
He's really gross. He's dating, I guess, he's separated from his wife who he met. He's an Iraqi vet. He found his wife over there, and now he's separated and stuff. And now he's dating somebody who was maybe 19 years old, and then filming revenge porn and other stuff. Screw this guy. And the problem is, he was my best choice. I mean, because the thing is, my district was during the 2020s
Gerrymandered?
was gerrymandered. It was originally a kind of a blue district. We had a lady named Stephanie Murphy who was there. But once the district got gerrymandered, we basically it became a red district. And the guy I had to fight off was a guy named Anthony Sabatini. So, like, who the hell is Anthony Sabatini, right? So, I let me see if I can find the news articles. What he was saying, some like awful stuff. But either ways, this Corey Mills guy is the best we had because Anthony Sabatini was arguing about some horrible shit, and my entire he hit nationalist convention. Yeah, anyways, he was like helping out like the Nick Fuentes America First organization is Mr. Sabatini.
Gee.
So my entire county is just corrupt as hell. The Seminole County, we also had a guy named Joel Greenberg. He was my tax collector. I met this guy. I gave him my tax money, and he is sentenced to 11 years to prison for like multiple things. Right? He helped.
Was embezzlement one of them?
Embezzlement is just one of the things. He also here I'm gonna.
I guess you know where your tax money went.
This fraudster, he besides taking the tax money, he turned some of the offices into Bitcoin mining operations, Bitcoin rigs. But he also did sex trafficking to Matt Gaetz and other stuff.
Yeah.
So screw Seminole County. My place sucks. And
I was like, you need to run for office, buddy.
No,
I mean, Florida in general is just a fucking cesspool.
So,
it might be the time. Honestly, the bar is so fucking low at this point. Tommy, if you're running, I'm on your campaign. Dog.
No, I'm gonna get shot. It's fine.
Yeah, Tommy would get shot. He's not white.
I'm too big a target.
Be a martyr.
Yeah.
You won't get shot, Tommy. We'll put vests. We'll strap you up, Tommy. Don't you worry.
Yeah, oh yeah.
All right, so
I got plenty of rifle plates.
So anyway, you hear me out, Mr. Corey Mills. I'm after your ass. After
yeah. Careful, he might post revenge porn of you.
Yeah, careful. You might get fucking targeted in retaliation, bro.
I mean, a personal story. I was doing some online dating like 5-6 years ago, and there was this Asian woman. She's like,
and Corey Mills was on there.
And Corey Mills was there, and then he was like, "Yeah, I'll put on your video camera. Like, I'm busy at work. Oh, can you film yourself in the bathroom?" I'm like, "Okay." So, so that is why. That is why because of my bad things that internet verification
know what I mean nowadays
is coming to the whole internet. Okay.
Damn it, Tommy.
I know. It was an amazing pivot. So this is going on in the UK, but it's going on in other places where we're trying to make sure that the internet is for adults again. So, but this is always a weird one where a lot of different places are forcing like the private businesses to perform all these verifications. That's why we've been having issues. You've probably been hearing in the news of like porno websites and stuff. They're kind of either blocking users of certain states and other stuff like that. So this is going on in the UK where they're trying to implement new kind of rules for trying to block and fact check. I've actually caught a lot of like little articles here regarding age verification. So we are definitely going on like YouTube, right? So let me see if we can find the article. But it looks like YouTube is doing some kind of AI verification going on next week. So I like watching a lot of gameplay videos. So then I'm gonna get blocked by watching those things. Let me see if we can find it here. YouTube AI verification. Look at us doing straight up Googling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah, so they'll be using the AI to see, okay, this is the kind of content you like to watch and kind of identify you as a teenager or stuff. And I guess if you fall into that, they probably gonna have you like submit like a real a real ID of some sort, probably. How have you guys?
I already had to do this for the Easy Vote channel, so if you need to watch adult content.
Oh, sorry, you cut out over there.
Oh, I was gonna say I already had to upload my ID to the channel, so if you need to watch adult content, you can just use it.
All right.
Okay. We'll just pretend we're Cal.
So like.
Thanks, bro.
Yep. So like there are different countries that have kind of had some successes and stuff with like age verification. So it just depends on what you want, right? So how have you guys been dealing with age verification? I mean, because we had this as a kid, right? Did you guys have internet as a kid? Was it just me?
Oh yeah.
Sort
Well,
of.
you
I
know,
mean,
you say age verification, but literally all they did was ask you your age.
Yeah. Are
Yeah.
you 18? Yes,
Are you
sir, I
18?
am.
Yes, I'm 18.
Yeah.
Yep. So that was
I honestly, I felt like that was the smarter move anyway. Oh, well, I mean, I don't know because like uh, at the very least, then they can say like we gave you the option if your parents were more involved,
This
then
wouldn't be a
you wouldn't
problem.
have
Yeah.
this
This wouldn't be a
problem.
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's right.
exactly.
yeah. So I don't know.
But Republicans continue to not be able to fucking be parents to their children.
that's right.
Oh.
Well, yeah.
Gotta have what's that shit that Mike Johnson's got with his one kid?
Oh, how
Got
they
like a
monitor
weird
each
fucking
other's porn use?
monitoring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, you guys
Fucking
don't?
weird.
Do you guys not put like little trackers on your like kids' phones? Because I put on my parents, so I see what they're doing.
Different.
Monitor your dad's porn
Oh my
use?
god.
I don't want to
that's
know.
Great.
they have a certain age.
I
don't
really
wanna
don't
know.
want to know what my parents are using the internet for. It
Nope.
would just bore me, or I'd be horrified. I don't want to know.
Yep.
But
Yep.
I mean, I know what my kid uses his internet for, fucking Roblox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So other countries and stuff have done it pretty well. Like in the past, with I had to do a little research of things, and it all just ends up being, oh, these are all the things little Tommy used to do to evade mommy's eye, which was part of it was they
Big
had credit.
mommy.
Big mommy. Yep, my actual mommy. Not the. Anyways,
Oh, not the government. Okay.
not the government. Part of it had like credit card verification, right? Because only credit cards can only be issued to adults, right? So that they take credit cards and they really charge them. That could be some kind of thing. Or if it was
I
like,
think there's a bunch of identity theft cases that would beg to differ, Tommy.
look, I mean, I remember the phone call my mom had to make about the weird transaction on her credit card bill, and she's like, "What do you mean this is an internet thing?" And then she looked it up, and then she like gave me a big stern lecture about this. It was very embarrassing.
Big booty Latina women. I didn't order that on pay-per-view.
I wanted it mailed directly to my house.
So this is a thing where, but since we're forcing individual companies to do it, it's really messy. It's inefficient. So if we really want to do age verification, we gotta go to the most heaviest state-controlled internet possible, which is China. Okay.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
So China has things like facial recognition, real name registrations to stop gambling and internet usages. So you got to put all these things that are coming in, right? So that means everybody's computer probably has like a webcam, like this one here, hi, to verify that you're a real human or whatever shit. So all these kind of prevention measures, actual things, and this is actually done at the internet level. So it's going to be internet providers are restricting that filter for you instead of forcing a business. And like I'm not saying I agree with this, but this is probably the way that you want to do it.
That's the better way to do it. I mean, it's putting the responsibility on the people that actually manage the internet versus expecting private businesses to do this, because then you have all these private businesses that are like, well, we're not doing this here. Like, I don't want to name
Or
drop,
they
but
do
like
it and they do it shitty.
Yes, like
Yep.
Pornhub here instead just decided to just block access to Pornhub in North Carolina.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Like,
yeah, and I'm backed up for months. I know. but yes. So as
can you cut that out?
No.
Okay. Anyways. Yeah. So this is probably
fine.
what I'm seeing. It might. This is definitely big internet. Where the government is definitely gonna have big control of internet of things, and it's just gonna keep going. Personally speaking, I think the age of anonymous internet has been long dead. Personally speaking, Google, Facebook, all these social medias, they track everything what you know anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you scared of?
You need a phone number to have a Gmail account.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So
Nowadays, yeah.
So if I'm just saying, if you talk to your privacy centric friends, it's like you guys just gotta stop talking on like Facebook, you weirdos. Got to do some thinking. Anywho.
Well, I definitely hope this. I hope more of our friends collectively become privacy friends, because that's the way out of this. The way out of this is like honestly rethink maybe even TCP/IP from top to bottom and be like, we don't want to go through this like way anymore. The way that we communicate, we want to like, because I think more people are gonna. What the answer to this is? More people are gonna be like getting on VPNs. More people are probably gonna try to be Tor browsing. The other thing is like we fucking downloaded a lot of fucking porn when I was little. That's how like when we were kids. That's how we got it.
That's
Like
right.
I didn't fucking go on to the internet to do this. I went onto some torrent site and got it, and then
Yep.
there was no Pornhub when I was a kid. We didn't have bandwidth for that. Fucking
Right?
download files of anal shit. Anyway,
I mean, it's really expensive to me.
That's right.
I had to pay for like a real human being now. I had to go to the
Oh,
store and
no.
then look the old lady in the eye, and then she winked at
We
me
had to find porno mags in the forest when I was a kid.
in the forest. It grew like mushrooms on trees.
Foraging.
Came with mushrooms
I
too.
forgot about
Foraging for
that.
hustlers.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
true. Jesus.
All right. Let's see.
On a
Anything
jaunt
else?
for the jugs.
Anything else that you want to talk about, folks?
I think we talked enough about porn.
For once.
That's all I've got. Do we want to play some this week? Can we play video games this week?
I'm down to play some games.
All right.
All right. So I guess we're just
Depends
close.
what we're playing.
We'll
I
figure.
gotta go
are-
make
are-
some food for my family, but I'll be back in a little bit. if you
What
guys want.
We
family?
can take a break too. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta feed the
Ouch.
nerds that are playing D&D in the other room. They're finishing a 20 level campaign, and I'm proud of them.
It's beautiful.
Oh.
If we don't
Epic level.
reward, I know they went from 1 to 20. I'm really fucking proud of them.
Oh.
If we don't reward, I know nobody I know has ever done it. If we don't reward this kind of positive behavior now with food, how else will they know that you should finish campaigns? You know what I mean?
Right. I was in a campaign where they went to like 1 to 20. I joined when they were like level 8 though, so I wasn't there the whole time.
Yeah,
It was
that's still
awesome,
fair.
though.
Yeah, great. It's great times. Like they've
We had
got a lot
like
of history
3
around
different
this
dungeon
campaign, so-
masters.
Oh shit! Well, no, this is the same
Yeah.
DM. That's why I'm proud of him.
Oh, wow.
He's
Oh
finished.
man,
he's
that's
done-
nice.
I know.
See, we got
I'm
an
proud of him.
upgrade every time, so it was fine.
Well, okay, that's fair. I would take that too. Anyway, but
Yeah.
he's good. I'm proud of him. I'm making them some barbecue and other bullshit.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well,
It's
so,
gonna be a good time.
Yeah, other bullshit.
so we've been the
All
team-
right. Well, we'll probably be back with some video games later then.
Yep. We've been. This has been the team at easyvotend.com. You know, crying is a free action. You've been listening to our podcast. Thank you very much. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on all socials. We might bring you some games in a bit. So, I think.
Bye.
Yep. Thank you, Taylor. Sorry,
How do you land the
Bye.
plane,
Thank-
Tommy? How do
Taylor,
you land the plane,
Taylor,
Tommy?
thank you for joining us on our
What?
podcast. Thank you.
Fuck yeah, it was great. I love this.
Thank you.
Yeah, hell
Thank
yeah.
you to Al. Thank you to Justin, and thank you to me, specifically me.
Yeah, thanks, Tommy.
Thank you, Tommy, for hosting.
Yeah.
All right. Thank
Yeah,
you all
Jeff.
for listening, and especially thank to you, the listener. We could not do this without you. So I
And
have
viewers like you.
yep, and stay healthy, stay safe, and keep paying attention. Thank you very much.
Go to a protest.
Go to protest. Thank you.
Hell yeah.